Happy Wednesday, everybody. I am super excited to have my dear friend Mark Metcalf join us this morning on our Facebook Live, our Winners Wednesday. Good morning, Mark. Thank you so much.
Good morning. Glad to join you.
Thank you. For those of you, I know some of you may have known Mark's story. He's absolutely not just an incredible friend and human being, but also a very successful real estate agent. And, formerly with Keller Williams, was the top team in Mississippi. So he's from Jackson, Mississippi, top team there, and then joined EXP and has been an icon agent team. And on top of being a high production team, the state broker of the entire state of Mississippi. So, Mark, do you mind just sharing a few words about kind of your story and where you kind of led into where you are today?
Sure. So, my background was in youth ministry. I was getting a lot of feedback. I might have to take my ear out to talk. Okay.
You're speaking.
It's giving me a lot of feedback. So I'm just going to take it out so I can talk. I'm assuming you can hear me, so raise that if you can. So my background is in church world. I was a youth minister, and as I began to transition out of those late nights and long weekends, I was looking for a career and sort of just stumbled into real estate. That first year, I didn't really have a plan. I thought maybe I needed to sell 6 to 8 homes a year to sort of make a living that I was used to. Hit the ground running and sold about 75 homes that year, and was Keller Williams top rookie by units, close to being top rookie by volume. The guy who won the volume awards won 11 homes in Simi Valley, California. So I quickly learned that where you sell does matter, but you're also sort of tied to your roots where people know you. So that began to develop. Next year, we sort of doubled that number and began to develop a team. And down the road, the team grew. We had 12 team members. We were selling a lot of properties. We were top in our office, top in the area, top in central Mississippi, and sort of started thinking about becoming an independent brokerage. That was logical. We have 12 people. We have 3 admin staff. We've got an office. I had my broker's license, so everything made sense to go independent. And as I began to think about that and plan for that departure from Keller, I was introduced to EXP and became a game changer. I realized I did the numbers, I did everything. I realized it was not only going to be better for my team. So there were 12 of us, and we did the math that if we had gone a year prior to that day, as we considered it, it would have been $132,000 difference just in splits and caps. And that's nothing else, like no rev share, no stock, no whatever, no technology, just the financials were that drastically different for my team. So it was kind of a no-brainer, but then again, there's still the question of independent, because if we went independent, we could certainly keep 100% and do different things, but the cost of being independent and the realization that I couldn't train agents the way EXP trains agents was kind of a big thing for me. So that's how we got to EXP.
Absolutely. And I love it because I was in a very similar position 7 years ago. I was going to open my own brokerage. And that realization also came that if I was going to bring on agents, I needed to offer the best, training, support, systems, tools that was out there, right? But so as far as production, I mean, quickly growing into, such a top producer and top team, what would you say is the number one key to your success in having that success so quickly?
Can you repeat that? I'm getting a lot of echo.
Yeah,
I didn't hear the question.
No problem. I'm sorry. I just said, so as far as being a top team so quickly in your career, what was the number one key to your success?
Okay. The number one key, honestly, was a different approach to lead generation. And it might take longer to explain this. I do teach a class in the Icon series in the HP World where I delve in a little bit more. But the average cold call would probably make about 1% success. If you're really good at scripted, you could probably get that to 2%, 3%. The average warm referral should come in at a 90% success rate. I mean, if a warm referral doesn't close, it's probably an outside circumstance, such as things change. People change their mind. I recently had a referral that just decided not to move to the area. I'm not going to close it because it just didn't work out. But those who will work out, they come with a warm referral. They come introduced from somebody with mutual trust and respect. That kind of lead is just golden. So I quickly learned, instead of just blasting cold calling for club owners or selling myself, it was very important to build a team of people who would help me be the link to those leads. So I get my leads the same way everybody else does. But instead of directly selling myself, I spent time to find the mutual friend, the mutual connection, the trusted partner, and finding that introduction to make that no longer lead generation, but referral generation. So I guess I can explain it more if you want to go into it, but or you can come join me in the EXP world sometime in the next few weeks.
There you go. So you teach all your agents that join your organization essentially how you've built your business over all these years.
Yeah, absolutely. So as we built a team, we taught that. Some people are receptive and live it and do it. Some people still struggle. It's easier to just pick up the phone and call the lead. It's easier to just say, I'm a great agent, use me. The difficult work is doing a little bit of investigation to figure out who could be the one who says that for me. And that would be indirectly to that lead, but that's also the way I focus on social media. Instead of tooting my own horn a lot, I've really found ways for past clients and friends and trusted partners to do that for me. And not just leaving it to chance, not just saying, hey, I hope somebody posts something, but literally at closing, asking a client, hey, would you post something? And they weren't comfortable. Can I write it for you? And you just approve it and click it? I mean, I'm not ashamed to do that because that is free marketing. And they're not going to push send if it's not true, but just taking the initiative to ask for that kind of referral and trust and promotion was huge.
And so let me ask you this. So that's, how you grew your production. Have you kind of used the same, methods, if you will, in growing the agent attraction, your organization with EXP?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you're trying to grow an organization, you're trying to attract agents. That same third-party validation is true. The funny thing is, if you listen to people teach agent attraction, everybody will affirm that getting a third party involved to sort of have that validation is important, but nobody teaches it in lead generation, which is funny. So I think I was probably pioneering in my own way to figure that out in lead generation, but absolutely, that's just the basic of trying to attract someone. So Micah, you introduced me to EXP, but no doubt after you did, because I didn't really know you at the time, I started looking to those people who I knew from Keller. There were several who had already defected or whatever and gone, and I never bothered to talk to them. I didn't really know what they were doing or have much concern because it was early on. It was just a handful at the time. But yeah, I mean, I wasn't just sold on an idea without looking for somebody that I knew a little bit more to say, hey, is this working for you? Are you crazy? Why did you go to this company? Because at the time, there's 2,600 agents when you first introduced me.
Right. It's now we're over 65,000 agents worldwide, right? So it's definitely a different company. So when I originally reached out to you, and like I said, we connected on Facebook. We didn't even know each other. What were the things that really gained your attention as a top performing team to move your entire business to this relatively small company at the time?
So it was a process, as you can remember. I think we started that conversation on April 1st. We made the move on November 2nd, 3rd, something like that. So it took a little while. Of course, my mind was made up before, but there's some logistics of moving a team that has 12 members. That was back when we carried a listing inventory. I think about 40 active listings we had to convert. So it was, for many reasons, we did it around this time of year. It's a little easier to do it in the fall, but it was mostly math, mostly just a better way to do business. Certainly liked the people I did business with before. Of course, many of them are with us now and joined us. But the reality is, better training, better sharing the business. My former company had something kind of similar, which I still reap benefits of in the profit share system. But per agent, that turns out to be about 8.8 times more money per agent that I attracted to Keller Williams versus the agents I've attracted to EXP. So, if I can make 8 times more money for doing the same thing, and the agent I'm attracting is actually getting a better deal, making an additional 20% on each deal, it's coming in at 60%, it's coming in at 80%. It's just a win-win. It just makes sense.
And just like you said, here's the beautiful thing is not only is it a win-win for you, but it's a win-win for your agents, which I know is really important too. Not only you, but your wife, Emily, who's also, your business partner and licensed as well. So, we didn't quite touch on Icon yet. So you've received the highest level of production for EXP agents. Can you kind of walk us through how, Icon works and really how it's benefited you and your family?
Absolutely. So I knew from the minute you introduced the plan and what Icon was, I knew I was qualified. So it wasn't I hope I reached Icon. I could just know that the production we had was well past that threshold. So coming into the company, I knew that, yes, I'm going to pay $16,000 in a cap to the company, but given time, I'm going to get that back in the company stock. I don't think if anybody knew that the stock would do what it did from the time I joined to the time now, they're probably a multi-millionaire. But nevertheless, I was just seeing it as equal. That I would just get $16,000 back. I'd set it aside. I'd use it as savings. I don't know if we're really talk numbers and stuff. I mean, stock was about $8 the first time I got Icon. So I got 16,000 of that, and then it splits. It was really effective with 4, and now it's like 52. So do the math yourself. We've got a couple commas now in our stock account. So it's good when you get to the comma level.
I love that, a couple commas. And guys, stock is going to go up and down, just like Mark said. But here's the reality is, did you get stock at your previous company? You didn't,
No.
Right? So you're doing the exact same business now that you did previously. As you mentioned, you already had your office, you already had your team, you just switched over essentially who you were aligned with, and now you get ownership, you actually get shares, and you have the ability to expand. Let's talk about how you took that even a step further. So now you're the state broker. How does that work as far as being, the state broker for the entire state of Mississippi? Can you tell us about some of the benefits, the pros and the cons? And I know you've had some challenges with that as well.
Sure, yeah. So, before coming to EXP, I was thinking about becoming a broker, owning my own brokerage. And so in that backdrop, one of the desires was to obviously continue to service clients, but also to build others. Did that through a team, and then our team essentially was the size of a small brokerage. I mean, I think if at the time our team was categorized as a brokerage when we left, we would have been like in the top 6 or 7 in the Jackson area compared to other brokerages. So, I mean, we have the volume. Of course, that comes with teaching agents. Almost all of my team members have been new agents. I kind of like that. I love obviously attracting existing agents because they just kind of hit the ground running, but also really love the work of teaching others. So as broker, I get a chance every week to lead and teach and train. We also have a lot of one-on-one as we bring in agents to help them succeed. We've got a lot of success. I looked at the numbers, and again, numbers in Mississippi are a little hard to gather. We've got all the different MLSs, but we are very, very close, if not already, the number 1 brokerage in the state of Mississippi. So, so we're killing it. We've got great successful agents. We have multiple Icon agents who are getting the same reward I got that. We have dozens of capping agents who get to a place where they contribute their $20,000, and then for the next few months are going to make 100% or split with us. So just love that. Of course, it's challenging. You've got a broker, you're on the line for every mistake. It does something dumb. It's kind of my fault too. So we really try to step up the game and make sure that we hold our very high level. One of the biggest misconceptions and some of the shortest term agents with us, with EXP, they sort of think like it's virtual, so like the cloud is my broker and I don't do anything. And I'm a pretty strict broker. I mean, I look at every file, and make sure that they're compliant, and make sure that they are doing it the right way. We've had to separate ways. A lot of times they're saving choice to realize, they didn't want accountability, and they didn't want oversight, and the business wasn't operating that way. So we've sort of refined that as a great agent. We've got agents who do it. One of the really fun things is that as I talk to people in the state, I can say to them, like, I may not be able to help you, but if you need real estate anywhere in the state, an agent on this team would be able to help. We got an office in the north, south, middle, everywhere in between. We've got agents kind of spread everywhere. So we love that about being a broker.
Yeah, no, and you do a great job. And I've been to Mississippi, and I know that your agents just adore you. I always say that you run everything like as smooth as butter, right? So you stay incredibly calm, and I think that's one of the things that make you a good team lead, but also a good broker. So just to kind of wrap it up for anybody that's watching this, maybe somebody considering opening their own brokerage, or even a newer agent that wants to increase their production. What are some of the pieces of advice that you have that have really helped carry you through all these years and transitions that you've had?
Yes, so continue to learn. I've been in business about 8, I guess we're coming up on 9 years. And the business has evolved a lot just in those years. Early on, I got all the lectures that everybody else got from the experienced agents. Anytime an agent tells you how long they've been in the business, it's just gold juice. Just always comes with me. But like, the business is different than it was 30 years ago. It's different than it was 3 years ago, to be quite honest. The market evolves, and strategy evolves, and technology evolves. And so one of the things I love about this company is when I was at my last company, I was going into a room of like 50 people with 50 different ideas, and one of us would teach. And we got some good ideas on how to do some things. I obviously had some success, but I get the opportunity now to walk into the EXP world virtually. I don't have to dress up. And hear people who are doing things in markets we haven't even fathomed, like the idea of marketing that way. And so getting that curve of getting ahead of that curve of being able to understand shifts, understand technology, and understand the evolution of the business, both in the way the market responds and agents, is huge. So I would say continue to learn and be at a company where you can learn. I know he's not the only company with great national training, so I would dare say, if you've got a better one, please introduce me. Like, just call me. I'll listen, because I see people put that they can't be recruited up and stuff. I'm like, if a better deal comes, recruit me, because I would like to know. Because I've heard a lot of pitches, and quite frankly, I haven't heard a better pitch. So.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, it's, I hear we have the best training, we have this and that, and I'm like, personally, I still see that EXP has unparalleled training from anything that I've ever experienced. So again, every agent does what's right for them, right? And this just happens to be our home and what we feel is best. So Mark, for agents that might be watching this and they want to learn from you, they maybe take your classes, partner with you in the EXP, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
You can call me, 601-214-5451, mark.metcalf@exprealty.com. Just reach out and say hello. I'm on Facebook too.
I love it. Well, thank you so much, Mark. Is there anything else that you would like to add? And I truly appreciate your time, but the floor is all yours if there's anything you'd like to add to this.
Thank you, Micah. Thank you for introducing me to EXP. Thank you for your investment in my business and helping me grow and transition. So I'm glad to join you today, and I hope everybody listening got something important out of it.
Well, thank you so much. I'll have to make a trip back out there soon and tell everybody we said hi.
All righty. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mark. Take care.